Hey guys, Coach Ben here, BigBenches.com, and I want to answer the age-old question: how much weight can I add in a bench shirt? How much more weight am I going to be able to lift if I wear a bench shirt? All right, so I get this question quite often, and like anything, the answer is it depends, and it depends on some certain factors here. All right, and I'm going to say this is a hierarchy of what contributes to that the most. All right, and the first one would be anatomy. Okay, so anatomy is going to play a role big time in your potential to add weight in the shirt. All right, and I'd say the shorter arms you have, more barrel-chested, the bigger you are, the more you're going to get out of a bench shirt. Okay, so for myself, I'm getting easily over 300 pounds out of a good tight shirt. Okay, but I don't have a huge range of motion, so my potential is a little bit higher, because once I get that spring off the chest from the bench shirt, I'm almost pretty much at lockout. You know, I'm only traveling with a wide grip with my setup. I'm not traveling a ton of ways, so once I get that spring that the shirt provides me, I'm pretty close to lockout. Okay, so my potential is probably going to be higher than someone who's all the way out here trying to bench in the shirt, has to travel all that range. While they're really loading up the shirt, they just have a ton more range to go. So it definitely plays against us in the deadlift, for example, but on the bench, anatomy is going to play a big role into your potential in a shirt. If we move on, we go down the hierarchy a little bit, we're talking shirt tightness. All right, and this goes for multi or single as well. All right, so shirt tightness is going to have a lot to do with it, but it's not like you can just go right away into a super tight shirt, because there's a skill level involved in that. All right, you're going to have a really hard time if you try to jump into a super tight shirt. All right, what I mean by a tight shirt is something that you can't even grab the rings of the bar yourself, something where you need someone to push your arm out for you. Something where you're stuck in like here, not just resting with your arms, but you're stuck in here, super tight chest plate, really difficult time to get your arms in without like a shirt sleeve or something. That's a tight shirt. Most of you probably aren't going to jump right into that off the bat. It's a learning period. It's years of this, guys, before you get tighter and tighter with your shirts. So obviously, the tighter your shirt, the tighter you can handle, the more pop you're going to get out of it. If you're just wearing a large used shirt, you're not going to get as much pop out of it. So your potential obviously is not going to be higher. All right, I'd say the span of the range of what you might be able to get a bench shirt, get out of a bench shirt. I mean, Tiny Meeker, when he did 1102, he probably getting 400 plus out of that shirt. All right, so you're looking at a range of potentially maybe only getting 60 to 80 if your technique and skill is down. It's a very loose shirt, to a 400 plus out of it. All right. And single ply, you're going to get maybe a little less than multiply, but some do even better in single ply, so it depends there as well. But the next thing, if we move down the hierarchy, is skill level. And I just touched on that a little bit. Obviously, if you're going to jump into a tighter shirt, you need a higher skill level. But also talking on the technique side of it as well, if you're someone who has a real traditional raw groove, it's just kind of straight up and down, higher touch point, you're going to struggle with the shirt. It's a different type of groove. You have to work a different pattern. All right. With a shirt, you're going to touch a lot lower, and you're going to be tucked in a lot more than you would be raw. Raw, you're going to have stacked joints. In a shirt, you're going to be in this weird position where you're tucked down, you're getting that touch, and then you're flaring out. If you don't do that or execute that well, if you get down to the chest and you dump weight, your potential to get more out of the shirt is not going to be very high. You know, I've seen it with raw benches. Those who already raw bench with, looks like they're in a shirt doing the raw bench, they're not going to be great raw benchers. You throw them in a shirt, they're going to get a lot out of that shirt just because of the technique, that groove. If you throw someone in a shirt who's very high touch point, they don't travel like down to the belly and back, they're going to struggle with that shirt. All right, it's going to catch them off guard at first. So skill level, the technique involved, the different groove, that's going to affect your potential to get more weight out of the shirt. All right, and then of course, last but certainly not least, after those factors are considered, your overall strength development and your CNS development, that's the nervous system, comes into play. So actually how strong are you, and how strong is your ability to overload and handle that type of weight, and be able to control that type of weight. Because you might be a really strong raw 400-pound bencher, but you're just not there to handle 600 pounds yet. It's just too much for you off the bat. You're going to have to learn to tighten up everything in your technique. And that comes down to having the nervous system to handle that weight, and stay controlled, and just have the overall strength there to be able to handle that weight. It's just like when you jump into a squat suit for the first time. You're probably going to experience some shakes. You know, have to develop that CNS. You have to develop the strength to actually maintain position under that new load. Okay, same thing with the bench shirt. So all four of those are going to factor in to your ability to really handle more weight into the shirt. So like anything, it's hard to say. It depends. There's going to be a range to it. Like I said, if you're not getting 100 pounds out of a bench shirt, that's not great. If you're getting upwards of 200, 300 pounds, that's more advanced. If you're getting 400 plus pounds, that is highly, highly advanced. Okay, but anywhere within that range, you could potentially fall. All right, so quick answer, I'd say 80 to 400 pounds. Coach Ben here. Sip of coffee for the working man. On the bench.